world of Westeros trembles at the mere mention of dragons, creatures of immense power and majesty. These majestic creatures with scales as hard as steel and breath that can incinerate armies are the stuff of legends, inspiring both awe and terror in equal measure. Dragons are not just mythical beings, they are instruments of awe and destruction, capable of laying waste to entire cities and altering the course of history. Yet, amongst these magnificent beasts, one name stands out, whispered both in fear and admiration: Balerion, the Black Dread. His name alone could send shivers down the spine of the bravest warrior. Balerion was more than just a dragon, he was a force of nature, a living weapon of mass destruction. His immense size and unparalleled strength made him a pivotal figure in shaping battles and landscapes alike. His presence on the battlefield could turn the tide of war, his fiery breath capable of decimating enemy forces and his sheer size intimidating even the most formidable foes. Balerion's influence extended far beyond the battlefield, reshaping the political landscape of Westeros. He was the living embodiment of House Targaryen's might, a symbol of their power and their connection to the ancient magic of Valyria. Balerion was not just a dragon, he was a testament to the Targaryens' dominance and their unbreakable bond with these mythical creatures. The tales of Balerion's might are not mere stories told to frighten children. They are historical records etched in fire and blood, chronicling the dragon's unparalleled power and the fear he instilled in those who dared to oppose him. These records are a testament to the indelible mark Balerion left on the history of Westeros, his name forever etched in the annals of time. His shadow looms large over the history of Westeros, his name forever intertwined with the rise of the Targaryen dynasty. Balerion's legacy is one of power, fear, and unyielding strength. To understand Balerion is to understand the very foundation upon which the Iron Throne was built. His fire forged the throne, and his might secured the Targaryens' rule over the Seven Kingdoms. His story is not just about fire and fury, but about the enduring bond between dragon and rider, and the price of power in a world balanced on a knife's edge. The relationship between Balerion and his riders was one of mutual respect and unbreakable loyalty, a bond that defined the very essence of the Targaryen legacy. Balerion was a creature of immense size and terrifying beauty. His very presence commanded awe and fear, a living testament to the power and majesty of dragons. His scales were as black as night, polished obsidian reflecting the flames he breathed. Each scale was like a piece of armor, impenetrable and gleaming with a dark luster that seemed to absorb the light around him. They said his eyes were like molten gold, burning with an ancient fire that spoke of his Valyrian heritage. Those eyes were windows to a history long forgotten, filled with the wisdom and ferocity of countless battles. His wingspan was vast, said to blot out the sun when he flew overhead. The sheer size of his wings created a shadow that could cover entire villages, plunging them into an eerie twilight. Those who witnessed Balerion in flight spoke of it as an almost religious experience, a terrifying yet exhilarating display of power. The sight of him soaring through the sky was both a promise of protection and a threat of destruction. His roar was like the very earth splitting open, a sound that could shake the bravest warrior to their core. It was a roar that echoed through the mountains and valleys, a declaration of his dominance over the land. Compared to other dragons, even the formidable ones like Vhagar and Meraxes, Balerion was in a league of his own. His size and strength were unparalleled, making him the undisputed king of the skies. He dwarfed them in size, his shadow swallowing theirs whole. The other dragons, mighty as they were, seemed like mere hatchlings in his presence. Where other dragons inspired fear, Balerion instilled a primal terror, a deep-seated understanding of their insignificance in the face of such raw power. People would bow before him, not out of reverence, but out of sheer terror. He was not a beast to be trifled with, nor controlled easily. Many tried and failed to tame his wild spirit, finding themselves overwhelmed by his sheer force and will. Only a Targaryen of strong will and even stronger blood could hope to master such a creature. It was a battle of dominance, a test of strength and resolve that few could endure. And even then it was said that Balerion served not out of obedience, but out of respect for the Targaryen blood that flowed within them. This mutual respect was the foundation of their bond, a bond forged in fire and blood, unbreakable and eternal. Balerion's story begins long before the Targaryens set foot on Westeros. He was born in the heart of the Valyrian freehold, in the shadow of the 14 Flames, where dragons were as common as horses in other lands. His birth was a testament to the might of Valyria, to their mastery over dragons, and their ability to shape the world to their will. But fate, it seems, has a cruel sense of humor. When the doom came, swallowing Valyria in fire and ash, Balerion was one of the few dragons to survive. Along with the Targaryens, he escaped the cataclysm, a refugee from a lost paradise. Their journey to Westeros was fraught with peril, a testament to the Targaryens' resilience and Balerion's might. He shielded them from storms, drove off attackers, and served as a constant reminder of the power they still possessed, even in exile. His arrival on Dragonstone marked a new chapter, not just for the Targaryens, but for the fate of Westeros itself. He was a symbol of a bygone era, a living weapon that would soon be unleashed upon an unsuspecting world. Aegon the Conqueror. His name echoes through history, synonymous with ambition, ruthlessness, and the birth of a new era. Aegon was not just a man, he was a symbol of change, a harbinger of a new world order. Yet, behind every great conqueror there is often an even greater weapon. Aegon's weapon was not just a sword or an army, it was something far more formidable. For Aegon, that weapon was Balerion the Black Dread. Balerion was no ordinary dragon, he was the largest and most fearsome of his kind, a creature of legend and nightmare. Their bond was said to be unbreakable, forged in fire and tested in the crucible of war. This bond was not just one of rider and steed, but of two beings whose fates were intertwined. Aegon was a skilled warrior and a shrewd strategist, but it was Balerion who made his conquest possible. The dragon's sheer size and power turned the tide of battles, making Aegon's enemies tremble in fear. Together they were an unstoppable force, reshaping the map of Westeros with fire and blood. Kingdoms fell and new ones rose from the ashes, all under the shadow of Balerion's wings. The Field of Fire, a battle that would forever be etched in Westerosi history, is a testament to their combined might. It was here that Aegon and Balerion faced their greatest challenge. Against the combined forces of the Reach and the Westerlands, Aegon unleashed Balerion's fury. The dragon's roar echoed across the battlefield, a harbinger of the destruction to come. The dragon's flames consumed armies, melted castles, and broke the spirit of Aegon's enemies. Soldiers who had once been confident in their numbers found themselves fleeing in terror. The burning of Harrenhal is another chilling example of Balerion's destructive power. This fortress, thought to be invincible, was reduced to rubble and ash. Harren the Black, king of the Isles and Rivers, had built the largest castle in Westeros, believing it to be impregnable. Its massive walls and towers were meant to withstand any siege. But even Harrenhal's mighty walls could not withstand Balerion's fury. The dragon's fire melted stone and steel alike, turning the fortress into a blazing inferno. The castle became a funeral pyre for Harren and his sons, a smoldering ruin that served as a stark warning to those who dared defy Aegon and his dragon. It was a clear message: resistance was futile, and surrender was the only option. Balerion the Black Dread, the largest and most feared dragon in the history of Westeros, eventually succumbed to old age, a shadow of his former might. Upon his death, his immense skull was preserved and displayed in the Red Keep, a stark reminder of the power and legacy of House Targaryen. The skull, with its colossal size and fearsome visage, was placed in the throne room alongside those of other dragons, serving as both a symbol of Targaryen dominance and a relic of a bygone era of dragon lords. Balerion the Black Dread remains a symbol of Targaryen might and the dragon's dominance in Westeros. His legacy is etched into the history of the Seven Kingdoms, a reminder of the fearsome power that dragons once held. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating tales from the world of Westeros.